Welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into the world of regulation and its potential impact on the digital economy. It's a trending topic and it could change the game for businesses and consumers alike. You see, just like the banking sector, the digital economy is under scrutiny for compliance. It's becoming quite the challenge even for the big players. In fact, HSBC is thinking about packing its bags and heading to Asia. A recent study by the Bearing Point Institute, titled Bank Sustainability Reaches a Tipping Point, takes a deep dive into this issue. And guess what? It suggests that the golden days of banking might be fading away. But hold on, the digital economy might be walking a similar path. In this ever evolving landscape, pure play digital firms are coming up with innovative business models, challenging the traditional players. They are hunting for profits in this wilderness of new tools and services. Now, here's the big question: could the digital economy face the same fate as other overregulated industries? Is overregulation lurking around the corner? And if it happens, what could it mean for businesses and us, the consumers? In this video, we are going to explore these questions and more. So, if you're curious about the future of the digital economy and the potential impact of regulation, stick around. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let's get started on this journey. Digitalization is fundamentally transforming global economic and political dynamics, giving rise to a multitude of legal and regulatory challenges. It has become a top priority for governments and international organizations alike, effectively governing the digital economy in order to harness its advantages while mitigating its risks necessitates global collaboration. This is because data flows across borders seamlessly, and major technology corporations have a worldwide presence. However, instead of cooperation, the world's most influential nations are engaged in a competition to assert control over digital technologies. They are embroiled in disputes over which standards, frameworks, and foundational principles should govern the digital economy. For instance, in June 2021, the United States and the European Union jointly introduced a Trade and Technology Council with the goal of countering China's increasing influence and establishing new global standards for emerging technology. The implications of this competition for smaller and developing countries remain uncertain, leaving them to grapple with their role in international arenas, particularly in the digital realm. Scholars are now delving into the transnational dimensions of regulating the digital economy, often focusing on specific policy areas within their respective academic disciplines. Yet, conversations with these scholars and practitioners reveal common concerns that span various disciplines and issue domains. There is a shared apprehension about the vulnerabilities and risks associated with the growing dominance of technology giants, their control over critical nodes in the global economy, and their influence on the development of regulations at both the national and international levels. Asset assessment and valuation. One of the key dilemmas in these cases is the assessment and valuation of assets. Unlike traditional businesses, digital companies often have intangible assets like software, data, and intellectual property. Determining the worth of these assets can be incredibly complex. Cross-border operations. Digital companies often operate on a global scale, which complicates matters in the event of insolvency. In the context of digital insolvency, cross-border operations take on a unique significance as they involve the intricate challenge of managing and resolving insolvency issues for digital economy groups that operate across international borders. These operations include the complexities of protecting digital assets and data stored in various jurisdictions, addressing the interests of creditors and stakeholders from different countries, and navigating diverse legal and regulatory frameworks, all while ensuring the continuity of critical digital services. Managing insolvency in the digital realm requires specialized approaches that consider the global nature of these operations, highlighting the critical need for international cooperation and regulatory harmonization to effectively address the intricacies of digital insolvency cases and safeguard the interests of all involved parties. Data privacy and security. Protecting user data during insolvency is paramount, and striking a balance between data privacy and facilitating asset transfers is no small feat. We'll see how regulators grapple with this sensitive issue. In the realm of digital insolvencies, safeguarding data privacy and security becomes a complex and pressing concern. Balancing the need to protect user data while facilitating the transfer of digital assets poses a significant challenge for regulators and stakeholders alike. Digital companies often possess vast amounts of sensitive user information, and during insolvency proceedings, ensuring the responsible handling of this data is paramount. Regulators must grapple with devising robust frameworks that strike a delicate balance between preserving user privacy rights and allowing for the orderly transfer or sale of digital assets. This entails addressing issues such as data ownership, consent, encryption, and data breach prevention to protect both the interest of users and creditors. The evolving landscape of digital insolvency necessitates innovative solutions to navigate these intricate privacy and security concerns effectively. Lack of physical assets. Many digital companies have minimal physical assets, which forces regulators to rethink the definition of valuable assets in the digital age. We'll discuss the implications of this shift. In the context of regulatory dilemmas and insolvencies of digital economy groups, the lack of substantial physical assets represents a profound shift in how we perceive and manage valuable assets in the digital age. Traditional insolvency procedures primarily revolved around tangible assets like real estate, machinery, or inventory, which could be sold or liquidated to repay creditors. However, many digital companies operate with minimal physical infrastructure. Their value lies in intangible assets such as intellectual property, user data, software, and digital platforms. This shift forces regulators to reconsider the criteria for assessing and valuing assets during insolvency proceedings. It requires developing specialized mechanisms for appraising and handling these intangible assets to ensure that creditors' interests are adequately protected. The implications are significant as they challenge conventional insolvency frameworks and demand innovative approaches tailored to the distinctive nature of digital economy insolvencies. Contractual complexity. Digital businesses often have complex contractual relationships with various stakeholders. Untangling these relationships during insolvency proceedings can be legally intricate and time consuming. Rapid technological change. The fast pace of technological change in the digital economy adds an extra layer of complexity. We'll explore how these impacts decisions on whether to preserve or liquidate digital assets. Within the realm of regulatory dilemmas and insolvencies of digital economy groups, the rapid and relentless pace of technological change introduces an additional layer of complexity. Unlike traditional assets, digital assets are often highly dynamic and can quickly obsolete or lose value in the face of evolving technology. This reality forces regulators and stakeholders to grapple with difficult decisions regarding whether to preserve, sell, or liquidate digital assets during insolvency proceedings. Preservation may be essential to maintain the ongoing value of a digital platform or technology, but doing so could risk significant financial losses if the technology becomes outdated. Conversely, liquidation might provide immediate funds for creditors, but it could also mean forfeiting the potential future value of these assets as technology evolves. Striking the right balance between preservation and liquidation strategies within the context of rapid technological change is a critical challenge that regulators must navigate to ensure fair and effective outcomes in digital economy insolvencies. Stakeholder interests. Balancing the interest of creditors, employees, shareholders, and users is an ongoing challenge for regulators. In the landscape of regulatory dilemmas and insolvencies of digital economy groups, the intricate task of balancing the often competing interests of creditors, employees, shareholders, and users emerges as a persistent challenge. These stakeholders have distinct and sometimes conflicting priorities. Creditors seek to maximize their recoveries, employees want job security, shareholders aim for value retention, and users expect uninterrupted services and data privacy protection. Regulators must establish intricate mechanisms that navigate these complexities. These involve devising equitable distribution plans, ensuring transparent communication, and considering the unique characteristics of digital assets and user data. Striking a balance that safeguards the rights and interests of all stakeholders requires innovative approaches that address the distinctive challenges posed by digital insolvency cases, ultimately aiming for a fair and just resolution amidst the intricacies of the digital economy. Regulation versus innovation. The age old debate of regulation versus innovation takes a unique turn in the digital economy. We'll discuss how overly burdensome regulations can hinder innovation and recovery in the insolvency context. Within the context of regulatory dilemmas and insolvencies of digital economy groups, the age old debate of regulation versus innovation assumes a distinct dimension. While regulation is essential for protecting stakeholders and maintaining market integrity, overly burdensome or rigid regulations can inadvertently stifle innovation and hinder the recovery process in insolvency cases within the digital economy. Digital companies often thrive on innovation, agility, and adaptability. Imposing regulatory measures that are too prescriptive or inflexible can impede their ability to pivot, restructure, or explore new avenues during insolvency. Therefore, regulators face the delicate task of striking a balance, providing necessary oversight and protection without hampering the creative and innovative potential that is essential for both economic recovery and maintaining the dynamism of the digital economy. This dynamic requires regulators to adopt a nuanced and forward thinking approach to regulation that acknowledges the unique characteristics of the digital realm. Cryptocurrencies and blockchain. Now, let's talk about cryptocurrencies and their impact on insolvency and why it matters to all of us. Despite the recent turbulence in the crypto market, it's clear that digital assets like Bitcoin are here to stay. But with innovation comes challenges, and that's where FUD, that is, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, comes into play, especially for financial supervisors and regulators. They have got their hands full in dealing with the new risks posed by cryptocurrencies. What we need is a practical, comprehensive, and transparent regulatory framework that can address these challenges head on. Recent crypto related insolvencies have raised some serious issues, and a well crafted set of rules and guidelines could help mitigate these risks. Methods to approach various aspects of addressing regulatory dilemmas in the insolvencies of digital economy groups. Here are some methods: multilateral cooperation. Foster collaboration between international regulatory bodies to establish clear guidelines for cross border insolvency cases involving digital economy groups. Develop treaties or agreements that facilitate the recognition of foreign insolvency proceedings. Specialized digital insolvency laws. Consider the creation of specialized insolvency laws tailored to digital businesses. These laws could address issues such as the treatment of digital assets, data protection, and user privacy during insolvency. Data protection impact assessments. Mandate through data protection impact assessments during the insolvency process to ensure compliance with data protection regulations. Implement measures to safeguard user data and minimize the risk of breaches. IP valuation standards. Establish standardized methods for valuing intellectual property assets in the digital economy. Involve experts and industry stakeholders to create valuation guidelines that reflect the unique nature of digital assets. Platform liability framework. Develop a legal framework that clarifies the liability of digital platforms during insolvency. Define the responsibilities of platform operators for user generated content and transactions conducted on their platforms. Transparency and reporting. Implement reporting requirements that mandate transparent disclosure of digital assets, liabilities, and potential intellectual property disputes during insolvency proceedings. This helps creditors and stakeholders make informed decisions. Blockchain asset management guidelines. Create guidelines for the management and distribution of blockchain based assets during insolvency. Ensure that the process is transparent, secure, and compliant with relevant regulations. Worker classification standards. Establish clear criteria for classifying workers in the digital economy as employees or independent contractors. Ensure that the rights and protections of workers are clearly defined during insolvency. Consumer protection measures. Develop consumer protection measures to mitigate the impact of insolvencies on users and customers of digital economy groups. This may include refund policies, data transfer options, or alternative service provision. Reputation management and communication. Encourage digital economy companies to have reputation management plans in place in case of insolvency. Promote open and timely communication with users and customers to maintain trust. Pre-packaged sale guidelines. Regulate pre-packaged sales in the digital economy by requiring a fair and transparent process. Ensure that creditors have the opportunity to review and approve such sales to prevent undervaluation of assets. Regular regulatory review. Establish mechanisms for regular reviews and updates of digital insolvency regulations to adapt to the evolving nature of the digital economy. Engage stakeholders in these review processes. International best practices sharing. Promote the sharing of best practices among countries and regulatory bodies dealing with digital economy insolvencies. This can help harmonize approaches and improve outcomes. Technology assisted compliance. Explore the use of technology such as blockchain or AI to streamline compliance and reporting processes during digital insolvencies, ensuring accuracy and transparency. Public awareness campaigns. Educate the public, businesses, and stakeholders about the regulatory framework for digital insolvencies to improve understanding and compliance. Approaching regulatory dilemmas in the insolvencies of digital economy groups requires a combination of legal reforms, industry collaboration, and technological solutions to ensure fairness, protection of assets, and the preservation of trust in the digital marketplace. In conclusion, the regulatory dilemmas surrounding insolvencies within the digital economy groups are complex and multifaceted. As these digitally driven companies continue to play an increasingly significant role in the global economy, addressing their insolvency issues becomes paramount. To navigate this challenging landscape, it is evident that a collaborative and forward thinking approach is necessary. Policymakers, legal experts, and industry stakeholders must work together to develop innovative and adaptive regulatory frameworks that can keep pace with the rapidly evolving nature of the digital economy. This should include a reevaluation of traditional bankruptcy procedures as well as the development of specialized insolvency mechanisms tailored to the unique characteristics of digital companies. Additionally, International cooperation and harmonization of regulations are essential to ensure a consistent and fair approach to cross border insolvencies. Furthermore, transparency and accountability should be emphasized with a focus on protecting the interests of creditors, employees, and other stakeholders in insolvency proceedings. Additionally, mechanisms for preserving critical digital assets and data during insolvency should be explored to prevent disruption to essential services and infrastructure. Thus, we can see that the regulatory challenges surrounding insolvencies in the digital economy call for a proactive and collaborative effort to strike a balance between fostering innovation and protecting the interests of all stakeholders. This requires a dynamic and adaptive approach that can evolve alongside the digital landscape, ultimately ensuring the stability and resilience of this crucial sector in the global economy. So, there you have it, the regulatory dilemmas in insolvencies of digital economy groups. It's a dynamic and ever evolving landscape, and finding the right balance between innovation, protection, and regulation is the ultimate challenge for regulators in the digital age. Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought provoking content. Until next time.